There's a lot of myths in language learning that I've heard. There's the old classic, oh, I'm no good at learning languages. Um, like I used to say, I'm no good at maths. And it's hogwash, isn't it, really? It's laziness. If you're interested in something, you put your back into it. You put the effort in and you put yourself out. And it seems maybe less like hard work if you're really interested in it. But even when you really want to learn a language, there's going to be moments where it seems almost impossible. There'll be that particular part, that grammar, or um, that there. For a lot of people, it's the subjunctive in Spanish. They hit that, but wherever it is, everyone's got a pain barrier. There's that threshold, and they think, well, I'm obviously no good at Spanish because I can't do this. Um, and that's just an excuse. It's just like the people who say, "Oh, it's wonderful that you're teaching your children Spanish. I wish I'd learned as a child because it's easier when you're a child, isn't it?" And I have to be honest and say I have no idea. I learnt Spanish as a child. Haven't been bothered to learn French or German or another language as an adult. Does that mean I couldn't have? No, I could have. I chose not to. Um, because I already had Spanish. So I got to go around saying, well, I already speak two languages. But I think I could probably, if I'd wanted to, I did try and learn a bit of French. Hated German. But yeah, I've always kind of said, oh, no good at remembering names. But I know that as with age, I have got better at remembering names. Not 100%, but I am better. I still have blank moments with certain people whose names I just cannot remember for love nor money. But I would never now say that I can't remember names. And I would also say I'm getting slightly better at certain types of maths, like I'm still no good at geometry, never will be, or algebra. But general sort of subtracting and adding and stuff, I'm better at. And I think that's how it is with people. I think when you look at a child learning English, let alone any other language, and the frustration on their face, and they're like stamping their little feet and they're clenching their little fists, and why can't you understand me? Is what they want to say if they had the words. Um, and you realise just how hard it is learning a language at their age. And in nurseries, you see the little ones like, they're so cross because they can't get you to understand. They want a drink or they want that book, the one that they like so much, the one that you read yesterday. Can't you remember? It's the one about the wolf. If they only had the words. And I remember feeling that same level of frustration. I'm more connected to those children trying to learn English at the age of 1 and 2, because I remember at the age of 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 trying to use my poor Spanish to explain to my cousins maybe whatever it was on my holiday. Them not understanding what I was trying to say, and it just made me so cross. And then adults saying, "Oh, but it's so easy for kids. They're just like sponges. They're just sponges." What does that even mean? People aren't sponges. I mean, one thing that adults have that children don't have is discipline, and the sort of the ability to say, "Well, no, I said I wanted to learn this, and I really do. So I'm going to put the time aside to learn this." Kids are like interested for that second that they're interested, and if they're not interested, you could be, you could yell in Spanish at them, you could do whatever, but they're not going to listen. So, yeah, I don't think that the the analogy or the excuse works. Um, so yeah, that's about it. I'm just going to leave it there and say, let's stop using that excuse. If you want to learn a language, or if you want to, by same extension, teach your language to someone. If you've got a degree in Spanish or in French or in German and you want your little girl or boy to learn it alongside you haven't used it in a few years, you're a bit rusty. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be rusty. It's okay to not be able to express everything you want to express, because to be honest, if they see their mummy or daddy looking up words in a dictionary and saying, actually, I don't know what that word is, I'm finding this hard too, let's learn it together, let's practice this, I don't actually think that's a bad thing for them to see. I think actually that's quite inspiring, something that you can learn together. And so actually the fact that you're not fluent in a second language anymore doesn't have to be the thing that stops you. It can be the thing that inspires your child to laugh. I mean, things like, we watched Ice Age on telly, so my boys wanted to know what sloth was in Spanish and mammoth. And I still don't know what saber-toothed tiger is. I just call it tigre. But sloth I learned, and mammoth I learned. And I said to them, I don't know what they are, so let's find out. And I learned it, and it's my favourite word in the whole world. So I'm going to leave this with you. The word for sloth in Spanish is oso perezoso, or lazy bear. Isn't that ace? Oso perezoso, lazy bear. It's helped them remember the word for lazy and bear and sloth. And we all just think it's really cute. And we have a picture of Sid the Sloth in our minds whenever we say any of those words. From Ice Age. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's very child friendly. Anyway, so I'm going to leave you with that thought. Don't be afraid. Put yourself out there. Stop making excuses. Bye.